Section 6 of the Ascent of Mount Carmel by St. John of the Cross. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Book 1, Chapter 4. The necessity of passing truly through the obscure night of sense, which is the mortification of the desire. The soul must, of necessity, if we would attain to the divine union of God, pass through the obscure night of mortification of the desires, and self-denial in all things. The reason is that all the love we bestow on creatures is, in the eye of God, mere darkness, and that while we are involved therein, the soul is incapable of being enlightened and possessed by the pure and simple light of God, unless we first cast it away. Light hath no fellowship with darkness, for as St. John saith, the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. Two contrary qualities, as the philosophers say, cannot coexist in the same subject. Darkness, which is the love of creatures, and light, which is God, are contrary to one another, for what fellowship hath light with darkness? The light of the divine union cannot, therefore, dwell in the soul if these affections are not cast away. The affection and attachment which the soul feels for the creature renders the soul its equal and its like, and the greater the affection, the greater will be the likeness. Love begets a likeness between the lover and the object of his love, and so the psalmist, speaking of those who set their heart upon idols, says, "Let them that make them become like unto them, and all such as trust in them." Thus, he then who loves the creature becomes vile as the creature itself, and in one sense even viler, for love not only levels, but subjects also the lover to the object of his love. He, therefore, who loveth anything beside God, renders his soul incapable of the divine union and transformation in God, for the vileness of the creature is much less capable of the dignity of the Creator than darkness is of light. All things in heaven and earth are nothing in comparison with God. I beheld the earth, saith he, and lo, it was void and nothing, and the heavens, and there was no light in them. The earth, void and nothing, signifies that the earth and all it contains are nothing, and the heavens without light, and all the lights of heaven, in comparison with God, are perfect darkness. Thus all created things, with the affections bestowed upon them, are nothing, because they are a hindrance, and the privation of our transformation in God, just as darkness is nothing, and less than nothing, being the absence of light. As he who is in darkness comprehends not the light, so the soul whose affections are given to the creature shall never comprehend God. Until our soul is purged of these affections, we shall not possess God in this life in the pure transformation of love, nor in the life to come in the beatific vision. To make this more clear, I shall enter into some particulars. The whole creation, compared with the infinite being of God, is nothing, and so the soul whose affections are set upon created things is nothing, and even less than nothing before God, because love begets equality and likeness, and even inferiority to the object beloved. Such a soul, therefore, cannot by any possibility be united to the infinite being of God, because that which is not can have no communion with that which is. All the beauty of the creation, in comparison with the infinite beauty of God, is supreme deformity, for favour is deceitful and beauty is vain, and so the soul whose affections are set on the beauty of any created thing whatever shows before God nothing but deformity, and can never be transformed in beauty, which is God, because deformity cannot attain unto beauty. All the grace and comeliness of creation, compared with the grace of God, is supreme disgrace and supreme disfavour, and that soul, therefore, which is captivated by the grace and comeliness of created things, is in the eyes of God in disfavour and disgrace, incapable of the infinite grace and beauty, for that which is ill-favoured is far removed from that which is infinitely gracious. All the goodness of the whole world together, in comparison with the infinite goodness of God, is wickedness rather than goodness, for none is good but God alone, and that soul is, therefore, wicked before God, whose affections are set on the things of this world. And as wickedness can have no fellowship with goodness, so that soul cannot be united in perfect union with God, who is the supreme goodness. All the wisdom of the world, and all human cunning, compared with the infinite wisdom of God, is simple and supreme ignorance. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. He, therefore, who shall labour to attain in union with the wisdom of God, in reliance on his own wisdom and skill, is supremely ignorant, and infinitely distant therefrom, for ignorance knoweth not what wisdom is. They who consider themselves gifted with knowledge are in the eyes of God most ignorant. Professing themselves to be wise, they become fools. They alone attain to the divine wisdom who, like children and ignorant ones, lay aside their own wisdom and serve God in love. This is the wisdom to which the Apostle refers, saying, "Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seem to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise." For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God. Ignorance, therefore, and not knowledge, becomes that soul which strives after union with the wisdom of God. All the liberty and power of the world, compared with the power and liberty of the Spirit of God, is but supreme slavery, wretchedness, and captivity. And so he who loves superiority and dignities, and the indulgence of his desires, stands before God not as a son who is free, but as a person of mean condition, the slave of his passions, because he submits not to the holy teaching, which saith, "He that is the greater among you, let him become as the younger." Such a one will never attain to the true liberty of spirit, attainable in the divine union, because slavery has no fellowship with liberty. Liberty dwelleth not in a heart subject to desires, for that heart is in captivity, but in that which is free, the heart of a son. It was for this reason that Sarah said unto Abraham, "Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of the bondwoman shall not be heir with my son Isaac." All the sweetness and all the pleasures which all the things of this world furnish to the will are, in comparison with the sweetness and pleasure which is God, supreme pain, torment, and bitterness. He, therefore, who shall set his heart upon them is, in the eyes of God, worthy of pain, torment, and bitterness, and can never attain to those delights with which the divine union abounds. All the riches and glory of the whole creation, compared to the true riches, which is God, is supreme poverty and meanness, and he who sets his heart upon them is, in God's sight, supremely poor and mean, and can never attain to the blessed estate of riches and glory, which is the transformation of the soul in God, for that which is mean and poor is infinitely distant from that which is supremely rich and glorious. For this cause, then, the divine wisdom bewails men, namely, because they make themselves loathsome, mean, wretched, and poor, through their love for that which is beautiful, rich, and noble in the eyes of the world. O ye men, to you I call, and my voice is to the sons of men. O little ones, understand subtlety, and ye unwise, take notice. Hear, for I will speak of great things. With me are riches and glory, glorious riches and justice, for my fruit is better than gold and the precious stones, and my blossoms than choice silver. I walk in the way of justice, in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may enrich them that love me, and may fill their treasures. Here God addresses himself to those who set their affections on the things of this world. He calls them little ones, because they make themselves little, like the object of their love. He bids them understand subtlety, and take notice, because he is speaking of great things, not of little things, such as they are. He tells them that great riches and glory, objects of their love, are with him and in him, not where they think they shall find him. Glorious riches and justice are with wisdom. For though the things of this world may seem to men to be something, yet let them take notice, the things of God are more. The fruit of wisdom is better than gold and precious stones, and that which wisdom produces in the soul is preferable to the choice silver which men covet. This is applicable to every kind of affection to which we are liable in this life. End of section 6.